Ooh, okay. Well, welcome everybody. You guys know the name of your professor? Oh, is it still listed as me? Because it should be Jory Watson. So I teach the morning one. So I teach the morning section of this class, and then we actually hired Jory Watson to teach afternoon, and she's finishing up her paperwork. It will be still the same syllabus. Most everything will be in D2L. So does anybody have trouble getting into D2L? Like, are you able to log in and see what's going on with it? Hello? Right. That sounds right. What I'm going to actually do is put the syllabus in there for you guys. So the most important piece. And we can actually go over that. So intro. So intro to social work. How many people are social work majors? Raise your hand. Okay. And then how many are not social work majors? So you guys psychology or something else? Okay. Which I think is actually okay because this class has become kind of our go-to for all of the classes, which is interesting. I wonder if that's maybe I should have searched it under like 1100 instead. So your professor should be here for Thursday, and that's this one will actually work. We'll give you, so you have the syllabus. The most important is going to be to make sure that every assignment is completed. So this class is paper heavy. That's one of the things, like in social work, you'll find it's paper heavy a lot of times, and that's just kind of how social work is. There's a lot of writing. It's getting you used to working in the field, putting everything up that you have to, and typing up your notes, writing, in social work, a lot of times we say, if you didn't write it down, it never happened. Okay, so now you guys have, we use the same syllabus. We are CSWE accredited. We go up for reaccreditation this semester. We have a site visit next month. So we always use the same syllabus to keep that accreditation. But let's just take a time to go in the room and introduce ourselves. So start on this side. So you can introduce like major, where you went to high school, city, and like what you want to do with your degree when you're done.
My name is Tim. I'm from I'm an exercise major, but I'm trying to switch to business.
Awesome. Welcome.
Hi, my name is Erin Barney. I'm from Detroit, Michigan as well. I went to Cass Tech. I know you probably know. Yes, number one. My major is psychology, and I want to be a family therapist.
Hello. Hi. Welcome. Awesome. Just a follow up to that too, is I did psychology major in undergrad. I wish somebody had told me this. I am biased now, but I ended up double majoring. I added theology. I wish somebody had told me to add social work, because you can get a license right after your 3.5 years in undergrad. And because we're accredited, you also get a whole year cut out of your master's degree in social work. So we stay accredited. We qualify for what's called advanced standing. It's only 30 hours SW to be a family therapist. normally you have to do 60 hours, which is 2 years full time or 3 part time when I did. So I always encourage folks to, a lot of the same classes, so a double major isn't unheard of, but consider it. I wish somebody had told me that because I didn't know that with a master's degree I could be a family therapist. In psychology, we had to go all the way through and get our doctorate, so I just never did that. So anyway, yeah, absolutely. You guys want to introduce yourself? You can do your high school, your city, your major, what you want to do with your degree.
My major is social work. I'm from Long Island, New York. I moved to Dayton. I graduated from commercial. And I'm not sure what I want to do with my degree.
Social work major?
Yeah.
Okay. That gives you a lot of options too. It just kind of opens up dozens of options.
Well, hi, how you doing?
Hello.
Hi. How? Hey y'all, my name is Maya Slater. I'm a social work major with a minor in psychology. I'm from Lansing, Michigan, and I want to be a family therapist when I get older.
Awesome. Welcome. I should say there are so many jobs in family therapy with a social work license because when I got my license, you guys might not remember the 2008 recession or 2009. Maybe you do remember it, like if folks in your family got laid off. But at that time, it was like scary to be a social worker as we had a bunch of layoffs. But after the Affordable Care Act passed in 2011, you guys ever heard of the Affordable Care Act? It's the ACA. It's known as Obamacare. I think now they okay. There you go. Now it's Biden Care. So so many jobs. It helps expand Medicaid. So like the need for social workers exploded. Like they're always hiring. They always have many options in family therapy. And because we're accredited, you have 1 year to get the master's to become independently licensed. So welcome and thank you for your intro. Do either one of you want to go next? Okay.
My name is Adriana. I'm from Indiana. Well, I went to Morton, and I'm a social work major. When I graduate, I don't really know what I want to do as far as specifics. I just know I want to help kids, like the system, probably CPS.
Well, welcome. Did you want to go next?
Yeah, I'm Maya Staples. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Major social work. And when I get older, I'm gonna be what's it called? A doctor specialist, like somewhere like I don't know yet. But
Okay.
I'll do that.
Have you ever been to a Green Bay Packers game? Is it close to Milwaukee? Is it? Okay, that's what I thought.
You know, I've been to a book game.
Okay, I was going to say either that or Milwaukee Brewers. Okay.
Yeah, I've been to
I think I've only been in that stadium once and they got a new one. Okay, well, welcome. Either one of you want to go next?
I'm Foxy from Mansfield, Ohio. I major in social work, but I want to switch to psychology and I want to get therapist.
You guys picked the right field. I do like the psychology base that I have because everything is based in psychology. It's just for some reason social work sped up the process so you get your license right after your 4-year degree or 3.5 if you did 18 every semester and only 1 year for a master's of social work, which independent license, which means you can become like your own business and private practitioner if you wanted to. So go ahead.
My name is Demetrius Davis. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio. I went to Wilbur Technical High School.
Where's that one?
That's on Red Road.
Winton Road?
Yeah, Red Road.
I don't know if I heard of that one. Is it?
You from Cincinnati?
Yeah. I went to Purcell Marion High School, so I'm like.
Okay, so Purcell, that's on like on the other side. That's in Bond Hill Road.
In like the inner city, so we.
go to like Everly Villages.
Yeah.
So if you go down like Golf Manor, you hit Red Road. That's like a section.
Okay.
So you hit that Red Road. We're on the right side. You know what Walgreens is at?
I mean, I know a couple of my dad grew up in Finneytown, so I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Okay. My uncle, he coached at Finneytown.
Okay.
So he was over there. But you know about Finneytown, that's still on the west side. That's
Right.
Like, college.
Right.
So
because I drive that drive every single morning up here.
Where from, Purcell?
So I'm on the west side, like way over almost Coleraine,
Like, check it,
pretty much.
way up,
Yes.
okay. I know
Yes.
about
Yep. That's exactly where we are. I'm trying to move closer, but have you guys heard of this thing called inflation
that.
lately?
Yeah.
Housing prices,
Everything going up.
rent, food, gas.
Everything.
Yeah.
So it was cool getting them checks last year. I'm like, yeah, I got $1,000. I'm going to the boat. And then I'm like, wait a minute. A year later, it's like inflation. I'm like, what? And what that means is too many dollar bills. You know, it's like, but then the same number of goods like food and milk and houses and apartments. We get into that in my class. So if you ever get bored and want to come to the morning section at 9:30, that's early, I know. That's what we'll go over a lot of inflation stuff. So well, welcome. Did you get to finish though? I cut you
No,
off.
I didn't get to finish.
Okay, go ahead.
Like, with my major, I'm not really for sure.
Uh-huh.
What I'm getting from it, I want to help younger kids who feel like they got an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
put them in the right direction, where they can get that opportunity.
A major need for social workers. What do you guys think is the lowest number of social workers that we had? What kind of social workers you think we have the least of? If you were to make a guess, look at the configuration of this room. What's the percentage? Male? What's the
Like,
percentage?
Like 9-1.
What?
Male to women ratio.
I was the only male graduate of my social work class. That was it. I was the only one. So not to say that we need tons of social workers, but when, like for whatever, I don't know why. That's a whole nother conversation. Why do you guys think there's not many males in social work?
I feel like it's a role that you gotta play. You know, a lot of people don't want that responsibility to take on that role.
Okay. You're in the wrong class. That's all right. You're welcome to come back. Go Pittsburgh. Well, welcome. Yeah. So for whatever reason, years on down the line, there would be like 2 men and then 3 men. I want to say it's my influence. I talk it up. We need more men social workers because we balance each other out. We need tons of women. We need tons of men social workers. But forever, there is not a male to be found in sight ever. So that's good. And you did pick a good one. Are you guys all freshmen and sophomores?
Yeah.
Okay. Any juniors, seniors? It's okay if you are. I do not. If you start late, I wish I had started social work. Would you guys guess what year I was a freshman? Close.
81, 91.
96. Wait, actually, no. I graduated in 96. So you got to subtract 4, right? 92. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, 92.
Yeah. Because I was like 96. Well, I was a freshman in college in 96 too. So yeah. Freshman. So anyway.
Where you go?
Purcell.
I'm talking about college.
So for college, I actually did get a scholarship to Dayton, but I stayed local at Xavier. But here's why. Xavier was only 6,300 a semester back then, which I think is like almost the same price as here.
Yeah, it's a lot more.
Right. I heard Xavier's like 50 right now. Like, it's not that good. I'm not going to talk crap about Xavier. I love watching Xavier basketball games too. Right. It's a tiny little college. So they have a social work program. They just started an MSW program. So if you guys finish here, you could go right into that one. Miami Middletown or Wright State has an MSW. So those are like local options and pretty affordable. So anyway, I won't talk crap about Xavier. Anybody else next?
I'm Hannah. I'm from Columbus. I'm graduating from East North Academy. I am a psychology major. I want to be a child psychologist. My plan is after I get my bachelor's to go to Wright State and get my master's and my doctorate.
They have a good program there, I've heard. Consider double majoring. I always put that out there. I won't tell you to change your major because psychology is the base of all of them. But if for whatever reason you wanted to start practicing right out of your bachelor's and get some experience, you can get a license in social work right when you graduate. And they're a lot of the same classes, so they're probably, you might only add a few on to get both degrees. So something to consider.
Hi, my name is Maya. I'm from West Lane, Michigan. I went to high school at Ready Memorial, and I major in social work. And what I want to do when I get out of school and I get my degree is go to social work in a juvenile.
So where would that be? And where'd you say? You said go do social work at?
In a juvenile.
Oh yeah. So would it be juvenile detention center or more of like the okay? Which a lot of like at Lighthouse Youth Services, we had to visit some of our kids that would get placed at. We call it 2020 in Cincinnati because it's on 2020 Auburn Avenue. I always wonder why it was 20. I'm like, why is it 2020? And then I became a social worker and I had to go in there not as a resident of 2020. I got to go in as a social worker. And I'm like, it's 2020 Auburn Avenue. That's why they call it 2020. I never knew why it was called 2020. Did you ever know why it was called?
They used to always call it the 40, but I don't know why they.
Right. That's what, see? And as a social worker, like, that's why they called it 2020. So, yeah. Yep. Parents usually have to help get you out of there. That was the. All right. Anybody else next?
Hello, my name is Brenda. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I graduated from Western High School. I'm a business major.
But you do have to take this class. You seem annoyed.
Huh?
You seem annoyed.
No, I'm not.
It's okay. It's okay.
I was when I get older, I want to be my own boss, so I want to have like a lot of buildings with everything in it,
Mhm.
and I'm just a boss of all.
Mm-hmm. How big do you want this building to be?
I want the building to be at least like 5 floors because we need a floor for everything. We need a jewelry floor, hair floor.
Okay.
Yeah, I need all of them.
Have you watched that movie by Chris Rock about hair?
Is it like the hairstyle?
He did a documentary
Yeah,
on
documentary.
where hair came from, like where all of, like you mentioned hair, and just like in India, there's several folks that believe it as a spiritual practice to bestow their hair on whoever is then making it to different weaves and whatnot. But they give it away for free. So they all shave their heads. It's like a spiritual, like maybe Hindu or Buddhist. I swear, look this documentary up. And they're giving the hair away for free. And you know how much those things you know how much those things sell for? Yes. That's what I'm saying. So look up the Chris Rock documentary. Because I know when my mother-in-law had cancer, you could buy the synthetic hair or the real hair was about $600. And I think the synthetic one might have been like $50. But that's the one that you see blowing across the parking lot when it's a windy day. You're like, oh. Okay. So I'm not going to hate on, but it all came from, right. It came from, so look up Chris Rock documentary on hair. It is worth a watch. You're like, holy crap, is that where it comes from? Like I never even thought, it just blew my mind. When we had to do the search for like, if you guys have had cancer in your family, sometimes you have to buy that. And that's kind of where it came from. So she survived. She didn't die. And so anyway.
Also, you guys, I do piercings and I do make waist beads. So hit me up if y'all need anything like that.
Okay.
And lip gloss, all that. Anything you need.
How do you make the lip gloss?
Well, you would get it from like your vendor and
Right.
just mix this version.
So do you ever buy it on bulkapotherapy.com? That's where it's at.
Get a whole box of everything.
I think we got a whole bubblegum tube of it in above the microwave in the room in the corner over there. But I think it expires, right? It goes bad at some point. Right. I never thought it would go bad, but I don't know if it's the coconut oil or the.
Yeah, you don't mix it.
It gets
So if you
rancid.
Make a batch, don't overload your batch.
Okay.
Wait till you sell out.
Okay.
So you gotta put rapeseed oil, all types of oil in it.
So that's the theme in this class you would like, though, business major wise, inflation. Everything is going up with inflation. Anything you guys buy this month that went up with inflation? Chips? How much are chips now? What?
Yeah. For a big bag. Then they don't even get all of it. That's like 5 chips in the bag.
So I said it in the class last year, that was September. I said, stock up now. Whatever you eat a lot of, whatever ain't going to go bad. You get that stimulus check, stock up, like get your little storage on and like stock up, because it's getting bad. Even gas, like right. So I'll say it again, but it might be too late. The Biden administration said inflation will go away. Do we believe that?
No.
I don't either. I hate to say it, but they're like, oh, it's just temporary. It'll be half price next year. Well, if that's the case, then I'm just going to wait. I'm not going to buy anything. Yeah.
But I'm confused, like, how are we running out of money and they make money? Like, it's not.
So that's a whole class time lecture, but the gist of it, our money, I don't even know if I have a paper dollar or a penny anymore. Like, what gives that value? It's a piece of paper that you can light on fire, right? Do you know what the original U.S. money was? Yes? You know what kind of coins? Something that you can't light on fire. You could melt it down. You could smelt it. You could, like. And then you know what year they cut out U.S. coins from? The Great Depression. The U.S. bought all of the gold from everybody. So this was $20 until 1933. 1 ounce of gold. It's this one on the bottom. That's $20. And then $1 was an ounce of silver. So you had $20 an ounce of gold, $20 for an ounce of silver. You know how much one of those things go for right now? I know it's a cheat sheet because it says it right there, but you know how much one of these is right now? I guess it says it right above it. So that's kind of, our dollar has devalued by 97% since 1913. Because it used to, you'd walk in with your silver dime. That's why dimes, now people just scatter them on the street. Just like you get like pennies, you throw them. But for real, it was silver, it was gold, and then, a quarter, a half dollar, and then a silver dollar is an ounce. That changed when we went into a lot of wars because we had to fund our wars in, first off, World War I, especially during World War II. And the worst we got was during the Vietnam War. So we started printing money. We just started printing it. You should have had the money gun like this. Like, here you go, here. But ultimately, it's a store of our wealth to buy a warm house and a full belly until tomorrow. So you're right. I don't know. You would say, like, you could print more money. We should be okay. But ultimately, it comes down to kind of a sustainable living of we may grow our own food, collect our own rainwater, and then even sustainable practices. So I know that's going deeper into the class about inflation and whatnot, but just kind of keeping a full ecological mindset of like everything that's happening and how to. You guys have any grandparents that like still live like it's the Great Depression, like save everything, and like that's why they got to live through this once already, and now we're kind of going through it again. So just being mindful and like making smart purchases and not into too much debt. I wish I could take out all the student loans I did, but oh well. So anyway, I know we have a few more. So you and then.
My name is Terry. I'm from Detroit, Michigan. I graduated from Communication Media Arts High School in Detroit. My major is social work, but my plans, I had to change my major because something happened last semester, but my plans was I wanted to become an army psychologist to talk to the soldiers, but going overseas is not time to do right now. So I might just, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That
You
was
still could do that on a base here and not have to go overseas.
Yeah, that's all. I didn't want to leave.
You could apply to be a VA, so veterans, which are here in the country, and that is the highest paying job besides hospitals in social work. That's one of the highest paying jobs. Lots of money, because there's a lot of trauma. I lived in El Salvador, Nicaragua for a while in 1998 and 1999. A lot of the troops go to these third world countries like that, and they have what's called post-traumatic stress disorder from those conditions, like war-like conditions, people dying and whatnot. So there's a huge need for that. Anybody get their ears ripped off by their mask? Like your ears start falling.
You're starting to get numb right there.
Yes.
But, I'm Dave
Uh-huh.
from Cleveland. I'm a business finance with a concentration in marketing. I'm a cosmetologist. I just came here to get my degree so I can open my salon. That's it.
Okay. Are you a freshman, sophomore? Okay, cool. And if you guys do 18 every semester, I know that's a lot. You could finish in like a few and a half years.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's staying on top of the syllabus. And who has a check sheet in here? Any of you guys have, or you heard of your check sheet? Okay. I bring this up in every class because if you want to finish on time and early and only take the classes that you have to, this is how you do it. Now you could take underwater basket weaving, yoga, bowling, and tennis. That's great. But then you'll end up being in college like 6 years like I was. And that's like super senior, then super duper senior. That's like way too long. I was in grad school for 8 years and they give you $21,000 a year in loans for that. Yes, I did get my doctorate, but if you do the math, that's like $250,000 of loans. You don't want to do that. So if you follow this one to a T and only take the classes you have to take, you will finish when those are done. So every program has one. This is social works, obviously. Most of them are all the same on this side. So you'll have to take English, math, history, philosophy, those. Then the other side is your major. So like business or whichever one's in there. And then you graduate. So if you've never seen this before, make sure you get one. Save it on your hard drive, save it in the cloud, save it in like what are the other things called? Dropbox. Like don't lose it. And every time you take a class, right, I got those 5 hours, I got a B. On the social work side, you actually can't have a C in any of those. Is that the same with every major? You can't have C's in your major. Okay. That's just for us to stay accredited. But anyway, if you would like the social work one, just email me, please. I'd like a copy of the blank sheet. Absolutely.
So, like a minor in social work, will we still be able to get? Can we minor in social work?
You could minor in it. You would not be eligible for the license.
Okay.
So that's the only trouble with it. Are you a psych major?
Yeah.
You're probably going to be taking a lot of the same classes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like, what's that? It gives you options. That's the only reason I double majored. Grown up. I should be old by now. Which one? Oh yeah, see, we have Psych 101. So, and then you got to take Social Work 101. So there's always shared classes. Now, oh, that's right. J Trouth at Central. Let's see here. That would be helpful, wouldn't it? Hey, what if it's on one of these? Let's look through this. So the syllabus you guys have is going to be the same for everyone. Oh yeah, there it is. Should I zoom in on it? If I can touch it. It's my name at centralstate.edu. You guys will have the same syllabus, but I'll keep it short and sweet. Usually the first class is just introducing your syllabus. Here's your book. If you want to look at what your book looks like, I tell everybody buy like the old one that's edition number 8. It's about $5. Yeah. Huh? You do? I don't know. I mean, books books have been a problem. Books have been a problem forever. Get the old edition for $5. Like on eBay or something. I mean, I guess if you're all buying it, they'll probably disappear. But there's usually one $5 book somewhere.
I think they said they was paying for books this semester.
Are they?
I think you just.
Because then they'll think we're getting a side hustle. See, I never want to quote that till I know for sure. Is I would be mad if I was a student. Like, yeah, your books are free. No, they're not. Like, what? So yeah, that's your book. These are the PowerPoints we go through. Social work does have a business component of it because a lot of times you got to run your own business in social work too. You really do. So whatever it may be, service to others. It is a paper heavy class. So those of you that love tests, I don't even think, I mean, you could have tests like your teacher, you could ask her to give you a test, but it's paper heavy. Usually you start off easy. So these are all, the syllabus is like your contract. It says like, you agree to do this, you agree to do that, and then you're submitting into the online submission, then you get a grade. So here's all your papers. All right. You guys got another class, don't you? Oh, do you? Well, that's the same other teacher again, too. So these Dubois.
No, I had it covered. I was $40 one.
Yeah, I'm looking at $70.
I see what
that.
Oh, see, I'm not There's one, this one.
How much could it change? You know what I mean? Like if you really need to update. But yeah, look for either edition 6, edition 7, or edition 8, because I think they've got 9 editions now.
We definitely need the book.
It's helpful, and then if you're going to practice, you know how like the smart people got their books on their shelves.
Yeah, just ready.
Doesn't mean you read it, but you got it up there. Like I'm a social worker, yes.
Okay, what about this? This one was
I think that's the one she is.
They told us our books was free last semester. I didn't get not damn book.
I didn't get
I didn't get not damn book.
That's why I don't trust it. I won't trust it till I see it. But that is the book. Yes, the new editions.
But like, will we actually use the book in class or like? Because I don't want to waste my money.
It's social work.
I'm a broke.
You'll use it all throughout your career as a social worker. Like I will say, I have referenced it. And what's your major?
It's social work right now, but I'm gonna change to psychology.
Okay, all right. Well,
I found a PDF.
oh, you did. Is it all 200 pages? Is it all 200 pages? So to finish you guys off, these are your papers. And probably about every 2 weeks you'll have first 2 pages. But they're so short. 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Write it in Courier New because you get 2 pages of Courier New, or you write it in Times New Roman and you put it in Courier New. It's 3 pages. Yes.
Yeah. What edition is it?
That's what we did in college. I mean, it's easier to read, so I like it, but right. The longest is probably there's 5 at the end. That would be your longest. And that's it. Do you guys have any questions? Because I'm just the substitute teacher. I deliver the bad news. I'm for real just a substitute. I swear. I teach. I'm for real. I teach. I teach it in the morning. I teach the same class at 9:30, but because your teacher's name is Jory Watson, I'm sure she's amazing. I think so. Why do you guys like Ben better? Really? Right, that's me. But because I agreed to be the director, they took away 3 of my classes. And if we don't have a director, we don't get accreditation. We don't have a director, but today I started becoming director. You guys will do good. It's good to have like a mix of like ideas and teachers and all that
So are you
stuff.
gonna be back like every?
I'm here all the time. I just teach.
Okay, cool.
You guys can come to. Myself and Nikita Jackson are the 2 field director and then director, and then we have Mr. Solomon Hill as our 3rd social work professor.
So do you have an office?
We do have an office now. Corner office. Yeah.
Okay, the PDF is $9.99.
No. You guys should all share a $5 book. That way you pay 50 cents a piece. So do you guys have any questions? Yes.
So how fast do we need to get that?